Alrighty, guys. Good evening to all of you. This is Michigan Storm Chasers. I am Ryan alongside Joel Fritzma.
Good evening, everyone.
Let's go ahead and dive right on into our topic of discussion for this evening, that being the severe weather threat for tomorrow afternoon and evening. The SPC has put us in a marginal risk, which is a level 1 out of a scale of 5. So it's the lowest risk we can have. It's going to be for two main concerns. Number one, damaging winds. That should be the dominant threat tomorrow overall across any part of Michigan, minus the UP there, especially the western central parts of the UP. Only the eastern UP is included in this severe risk, but all of lower Michigan is included with that damaging wind risk. There is no risk currently for any large hail. So any hail that should occur tomorrow is supposed to remain below severe limits. The other threat we're concerned about on a lower scale of things is a tornadic threat, especially in southeast Michigan. We'll dive into that here in a second, but there is a 2% risk in effect here from the SPC for places like Detroit, Port Huron, Ann Arbor, Monroe, Adrian, those areas in particular. Okay. So again, your marginal risk extends it basically encompasses the entire lower peninsula of Michigan and just the eastern half of the UP, Chippewa and Mackinac counties to be exact. All right, so time frames, radar, all that jazz. Let's go ahead and dive right on in. So this is our latest model from this afternoon, showing us the current thinking of what's going to happen tomorrow in terms of potential radar. So overnight tonight, rain showers, perhaps a rumble of thunder across the state. It should be widespread to scattered in nature. Most of us will see rain tonight into tomorrow morning. If it's not raining at your house already, it will likely rain here in a few hours. That should clear out here by roughly noon to 1 p.m. That exact time frame is likely to change. This is just the model showing us at this point. Right around that noon time frame, scattered showers should be moving out of the state. We have some lingering here at 1 o'clock. By 2 o'clock, those are out of the state and it's supposed to be clear. But don't be shocked if we have a lingering shower into the early afternoon hours. Attention then turns to the west into Wisconsin, Lake Michigan, and the upper peninsula. A cold front approaches, and that's going to be the focus for storm development. Let's go ahead and take a look at our zoomed in look here at Michigan. So zoom this forward here to the afternoon, right about here. This is at 4 p.m. We're seeing scattered development up here in the southern part of the UP, moving toward northwestern lower Michigan. This is at 5 p.m. Here, 6 p.m. It should arrive here roughly 5 to 6 p.m. up in northern lower Michigan, all the way down here toward Muskegon, all the way up here toward Mackinac. All right. As we get into further into the evening hours here, 7 p.m., that's going to continue pushing east southeast. And then at that point, should be scattered to isolated in nature. And that's going to continue to push eastward across the lower peninsula. And as we get toward the sunset, after sunset, 9, 10 p.m., this model continues to drop those further south and further east into Michigan. And then finally exiting the state roughly around midnight or just after the midnight time frame. Now, this model doesn't overly look concerning as far as radar goes, but the environment is favorable for severe weather. We use a product, not a product, but a method, I guess you can say, called SLIM, our ingredients for severe weather. S is for shear, L is for lift, I is for instability, M is for moisture. Looking at all four of those ingredients, let's go ahead and start with our shear. Here is your bulk shear across Michigan for tomorrow. Anything over roughly 30 to 35 knots is sufficient at this level. We're seeing 40 to 60 knots across parts of Michigan, especially central and southern. So we have sufficient mid-level shear here to support damaging winds here. I do want to point out, though, the low-level shear for like tornadoes and stuff like that does not look concerning at all at this point in time. So the risk for a tornado does appear to be quite low at this point. Just want to point that out. But we do have good mid-level shear here to support damaging winds. So your shear, check that off. We have sufficient amounts for damaging winds. Our source of lift is a product here we call lifted indice. This is going to be roughly at 6 p.m. across the state where I'm looking, or where we're looking at these products here. Anything below really -5, -6 or lower is good. We're seeing -5s to -6s, perhaps 7s in spots. Further south you go, the higher it gets. So we're going to have a good source of lift across much of the state. So check that off. We have a good amount of lift here. Your instability as well at this time frame. We want about 1,000 joules of CAPE, we call it, at the surface or higher. We have roughly 1 to 2,000 on this model being shown roughly across central Michigan. The further south you go, the better that environment becomes. Further north you go, it's still sufficient all the way up to that Mackinac area. And lastly, the moisture quality for tomorrow, our dew points are going to be quite moist. We're looking at high 60s, perhaps low 70s on our dew points. So all 4 boxes are checked here for our slim, we call it, and that's going to pave the way for a potential severe weather event. Now, the only fail mode here we're going to talk about, how is the system, how could it bust, so to speak? What could prevent these storms from becoming severe? And that's going to go back here to our modeled radar. Look at all this rain moving through into the morning hours. What that can do is, number one, rain will stabilize the atmosphere. So we want the atmosphere to become destabilized or unstable to support and fuel thunderstorms, in particular severe storms. All this rain and crap is going to move through. It's going to probably stabilize our atmosphere. And behind it, we're likely going to have a lot of cloud cover to deal with. That cloud cover prevents the sun from heating the atmosphere, and the heat will destabilize the atmosphere. So the more clouds we have, the less instability we have, the chances of severe go down. But if we clear out behind this morning showers and storms, at that point, we become more so concerned for severe weather as the environment then becomes more so dangerous. Okay. Looking at our cloud cover, we're going to go ahead and end with this, and we'll go ahead and take some questions from you guys. Looking at our cloud cover here, and this is going to be Saturday morning here. White is clouds, black is clear skies. The entire state tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. is encompassed in clouds. Let's go ahead and move forward to noon. Here is noon. We're starting to see clear skies over across the lake in Wisconsin. That's going to push into Michigan here tomorrow afternoon. We should clear out, according to this model, roughly 2 to 3 p.m. We should start seeing some clearing of skies going on, perhaps some lingering clouds. But as we get later on in the afternoon and evening, this model does say we clear out, we destabilize, and that's what's going to pave the way for a potential severe weather episode tomorrow in the form of mainly damaging winds, but cannot rule out an isolated tornado in southeast Michigan. With that being said, main time frame to watch is as early as 4 p.m. and as late as midnight or so. So 4 p.m. to midnight is going to be your generalized timing. From west is going to be earlier. So if you're up there toward the Lake Michigan shoreline, it'd be earlier on the 4 p.m. But if you're over in East Michigan, your threat would then be later on, closer to 10 or so at night. Should clear the state by about midnight. All right. With that being said, did I miss anything, Joel?
I would like to say that it could be like separate lines too. I think you forgot to mention that a little bit. Is that morning rain, if it does become unstable, like late, because if it sticks around long enough, it'll be kind of trailing behind the system a little bit, and you have instability building right behind it. So it could latch onto that instability a little bit, that morning stuff. But again, I think our main concern is going to be that late night stuff that you'll see as you take it forward here on our HRRR model. That stuff that comes in at night, which would be around probably 6 p.m. and later, like we kind of just said. So again, isolated probably pop up. And I think that's what SBC is going with that morning stuff. I think that's why they have that 2% there, is you could see a little bit of severe maybe on the back end of it. But I'm thinking our main risk is going to be probably that stuff here later in the evening.
Right. And again, these models that we have aren't really throwing out widespread storms at this point. We're not really entirely sure why. The cap is quite weak. The source of lift is there. So we could see more so in the way of perhaps scattered storms, more so in the way this model is showing. But again, model guidance usually is pretty good, in advance like this. So we're having multiple models looking at these and saying, we're not seeing much in the way of storm coverage, but there is enough here that these storms are in a good environment for severe weather. So take it seriously. Very good environment tomorrow for damaging winds, at least.
Yeah. And we look at DCAPE too, and on some of the photographs we were looking, or some of the SKUTs and stuff like that, which Ryan's pulling up here. In the bottom corner, there's something called DCAPE, and that's usually a measurement we use to look for. It's called downdraft CAPE. and that would be for damaging winds. Anything over pretty much 800 is usually sufficient for damaging winds, and look at that,
We have
1150.
yeah, that's enough to warrant mention of some damaging wind gusts via microburst and downburst. So
some other people are asking to see the NAM and the NAM NST maybe.
the NAM, we can look at the NAM 3. So the NAM 3, we have a floater for this too. I think we do. Perfect. So here's the NAM NST here showing these morning showers here, roughly 9 a.m. It does show a little bit more potency to them, especially across the Saginaw Valley, Flint area here as well. Like Joel mentioned a little bit ago, those morning showers are kind of riding that edge of instability behind it. So don't be shocked if one of those becomes stronger later on in the morning. Probably closer to 9:10 and after that, but that's going to clear out, and then that second line comes in roughly the exact same areas here on this model. Northern lower, it extends. You can see the cold front here draped across the entire state here. It's just not really firing too much in the way of storms on it, but the environment is good regardless, and that will be clearing the state here. This model does show roughly about 6 p.m. arriving, so pretty much in agreement with the HRRR we just looked at before. So pretty good agreement here in terms of location as well as timing.
So as long as it doesn't turn into like a grungy mess tomorrow, we could see a very nice afternoon. But again, keep your wits about you, especially when you go into the dinner hours for potential severe ramp back up.
We've had a lot of people commenting about graduation parties and just parties and being outside in general tomorrow. There should be a gap there between like noon or so and 4 p.m. of decent weather. So if you have plans, try to center it around the early afternoon as best you possibly can, if you can.
Yeah, mainly for central western portions of the state, because again, that rain could linger into the afternoon hours from the morning stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that's noon right there.
Yep.
1. Further west you are, I think more sun you'll get. Probably a safe bet to say.
Yes.
But again, with the dews being so high, it could easily become a grungy mess just like that. And we'll see, rain most of the day. But again, most of the models right now are picking up on it clearing out. So we'll ride with that. And again, we'll have a timing map out kind of probably later tonight for those who are wondering. And again, we'll forecast it for that second round. That again, the morning stuff's just going to already be existing. So we'll just put a timing map out for that second line. And the 0Z HRRR comes out here in the next hour or two, right? So that'll
be 8:45 or so.
Nice to use.
Tornadoes tomorrow, I'd say unlikely, but not zero.
There's a lot of speed shear, but we're not seeing a lot of turning with height, I guess you could say. If you guys know what hodographs are, they're pretty much straight lines.
Another thing to mention here as well, although it shouldn't become a concern, but if any storms do like train over the same areas, we could see localized flash flooding in some spots just because we have a lot of moisture. Heavy downpours are definitely going to become a concern, although the coverage of storms should remain pretty isolated to scattered, so we shouldn't be worried about too much of that. But if you get under a downpour, it's going to pour.
Mm-hmm. I'll make sure to use blues and purples and other colors in the timing graphic tonight. Yes.
Thoughts on an upgrade? I'm going to say at this point unlikely, although it wouldn't shock me if we see an uptrend between now and tomorrow for damaging winds especially. But overall, let me phrase this. If models show more coverage of storms, I could definitely see an upgrade happening. But as of right now's models and environment concerns with like instability, stuff like that, I would say the marginal is pretty good right now.
Yeah. And again, those are all based on probabilities. So right now it's a 5% for wind, 5% for hail, 2% for tornado at the most. If they were to go slight, it would be for 15% chance of damaging winds, which we could definitely see. But again, yellow doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be scary for tornadoes. It just means it's going to be, better chance of wind. I don't have my mic on me today. I'm sorry. No ASMR.
SPC.
2 a.m.
Sarah, You're probably okay for that, perhaps an hour or two delay for that pool party. Models do clear out for you right around 1 o'clock or so, just after one. So you're probably okay for early afternoon.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to use purple and pink for the timing map because I couldn't use red through green because people are yelling at me for that. So again, remember the timing map will not show hazard strength. It's just the timing. If people complain about this color table, I'm just gonna use black and whites.
You could always use like blue and or just different shades of blue, like aqua, blue, teal, purple.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dawn, I do. Can you hear that fan? I always have it on. Turn it off.
Let's see what else we got here. Outdoor party tomorrow 3 in Monroe. Should be okay. Should dry up decently. Big Al Williams, 10 gifted Storm Chaser memberships here. MSC, thank you, Big Al. Again, if you are subscribed on YouTube, check your accounts. You may have just been gifted a membership courtesy of Big Al. So thank you, Big Al.
Thank you. Most all of us here in lower Michigan is going to see rain at some point between now and tomorrow at noon. Should be pretty scattered in nature.
Mm-hmm. There were some comments on here about your unboxing, Ryan.
I haven't decided when to do that. Should I do that live or should I do it pre-recorded?
It's up to you. It could be like a members only video since it's not that important.
Right. Like it's not. I don't think it's worth a live stream for our following, but for those of you who've gifted and stuff like that, yeah, I know you guys want to see it. So.
Mm-hmm. We have a $20 super chat from Red Dozer. Red Dozer, thank you as always for your support of the channel. You are much appreciated here at MSC.
Thank you, Red. Do you think anything could be severe with the early morning storms? So it's not expected, but it wouldn't shock us. And it's because it's riding the edge of some instability behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be shocked if we have a surprise severe somewhere in the state tomorrow, late morning. Although I wouldn't say to expect it, though.
Right. It's a good statement to go by.
Flying out of MBS Saginaw at 11 a.m. You should be good. Just some rain in the area, Sue. Members only tonight. I don't know, Joel. Want to do a live stream tonight too?
I'm fine. I can stay up.
All right. How about this? We'll do an unboxing at 2 a.m. tonight.
So we'll have the members only watch party at 1:30 as usual and make that part of the. Okay.
Yep. For those of you who want to watch but don't want to stay up, it'll be back on you guys for the members only. So you guys can come back and watch it when you wake up.
Yep. And again, we will say we don't withhold any information. The stuff that we do during watch parties is just watching the model runs kind of come in and then watching the SBC update roll in. And we just discuss that pretty briefly, and then we'll post it on Facebook so you guys don't miss out after that. But again, in terms of just hanging out and chilling, that's more of a members only thing for the watch party. I think I explained that pretty well.
Yeah. We're never going to withhold information that's going to be vital to you guys. It's always going to be on the page. Members get extra stuff, though, but the extra stuff is never going to be life-threatening or life-saving, so to speak.
Yep. Wayne County, a lot of morning rain, probably through lunch.
Best time to go boating tomorrow in Houghton Lake. I'm going to probably say, Joey, early afternoon. So between like 1 to 4 or 5 would be their best bet. A July 4th forecast soon. Still a good ways away for that to get exacts, but we can start looking at perhaps doing a little bit of a look into that and just on the page perhaps.
I'll start cooking maybe a graphic or something.
Yeah, there's a pretty active pattern coming up here in July, so we may be looking at some storm chances. I'm not going to say it right now; it's going to storm on 4th of July, but um,
Hmm.
early July looks to ramp up another chance of storms. I am seeing on my weather app that utilized for temperatures and precip chances, it does show a chance of storms on the 4th. So we'll see if that holds true.
But again, it is your weather app.
It's a weather app.
I will say over the last couple GFS runs, there has been consistently a model for, or I guess predicted of precipitation the 3rd into the 4th. I think I saw that kind of over the last couple GFS runs there. And then by about the 10th to 12th of July, another big system kind of comes through. But again, those are all, week to 2 weeks out. And those will obviously change in between now and then.
We also made a video for early to mid July. You should guys check it out. The link is in chat. We talked about that pattern a few days ago.
Mm-hmm. So for those who are just tuning in, severe tomorrow, potentially after 6 p.m. if you live in the west side of the state, and as you go from west to east, the later it goes into the evening. We'll have a timing map up later tonight on that. But again, there's also morning showers that are coming through that could linger into the afternoon, and any storms that kind of fire on the back end of that rain that's moving through could go severe, but it'll be very marginal in nature, probably for damaging winds and perhaps a tornado or two, given that there's a 2% for southeast Michigan tomorrow there. And again, that's probably the thinking is that morning stuff, might fire off a rogue severe storm. So Costa County, you guys should be good through 1. Yeah, morning rain, overnight rain to morning rain, I guess you could say. Yeah, I think everybody here is a big fan of the 4th of July and celebrating it with friends and family. So we're like you guys. We want to have a great 4th of July and not have to deal with severe weather. It's no way to spend a holiday. Morning to afternoon for the rain, Julie. I don't know if you want to go through the HRRR run again, Ryan.
Yeah, gotcha.
Kind of show what those pop-up storms will do on the backside.
Let's go ahead and do the NAM just because it showed just a bit better on the NAM.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and hop in here for the Michigan view. Perfect. So this is your morning and overnight showers and potential storms rolling through. This is at 7 a.m. here. We're seeing these we're going to say stronger storms showing up here on the model. That's going to trail behind the main precip shield. So on the back side of this, behind these storms to the west is going to be the instability that's going to fill in behind it, or at least should be filling in behind it. So they're kind of riding that nose of instability, so to speak, which may spark off 1 or 2 of these storms to be strong or perhaps severe. So we'll keep an eye on those just in case. Way I put it before, don't expect it, but don't be surprised if it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And that'd be right around that 9 to 11-ish, 9 to 12. We'll say 9 to 12 time frame for East Michigan.
So it even goes a little bit later, maybe into 1 or 2 at the latest.
Right. Then that second line comes through, starting right around 5 or so would be a good bet, I think.
Again, the reason why it's not showing much on radar there is another thing we discussed about is a little bit of a capping inversion. That's probably going to keep this a little bit more isolated nature for that second line that's supposed to come through, which means potentially if it has the best amount of spin, we could see like supercells. But again, anything that's associated with those supercells is going to probably be in the mode of damaging winds. The lapse rates aren't. I mean, they're decent for hail, but again, I wouldn't expect anything in terms of more than 1-inch hail tomorrow either. It's kind of like a so-so atmosphere, I guess you could say, and that's why it's a marginal risk.
Did Joel get a haircut?
I did. That's why I'm home. That's why I'm home. Sparky58 with a 499 super chat. You guys know your weather science. What formal education have you had, if any, or how have you educated yourself? So I am a student at Central Michigan University, currently in the meteorology program, and I will be graduating with my Bachelor of Science here in meteorology at the end of the year. So December. So looking forward to that.
Yay, Joel.
Yes. I don't know if you want to speak about what you've done, Ryan.
I do not have a degree. I have spent a lot of time though online learning, um, countless hours. It's been an obsession for roughly, I guess, since I was 15 or 16.
Mhm.
So ever since I really got into weather, right around 18 years old, like really got into it, I just been nonstop learning, whether it's via online training from NWS, watching meteorologists, going through educational courses online. There's a couple that we recommend on our website. They're really good, really useful. But I've just basically been a nerd, so to speak, without going to school for it. But I am considering going to Penn State for a weather certificate,
Mhm.
although that's probably going to be a down the road type of thing.
Yeah. And again, thank you, Sparky, for the super chat. We appreciate your support here. Fire up chips is a comment I'm seeing a lot right now too. Just fire up chips, you know it.
We need to get a emoji for our members from our kids.
Yeah, but our Western Michigan grads are going to be upset. No, there's some people in here from Western. I've been interested in weather since first grade. My first grade teacher. That's the story I tell everybody. My first grade teacher had like a weather person of the day sort of thing, and I kind of took that over. Can we all come watch your graduation? I think they only hand out like 4 tickets, and I'm giving them to my family. Sorry,
You choose your family over our. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
you're all yes. We have a big family here at MSC, but family. Who's your favorite Michigan weather meteorologist? I think probably Joe Kopacek, even though he's retired now.
I will remain silent on that one.
Okay, I'm 24.
I will shout somebody out. I'll run the east side here. I don't know if he's still with them, but Ben Bailey on Local 4, WDIV. I remember watching him when I first started getting into weather. I watched him all night long back, I want to say like 2015 or 2016. We had a close tornado go through the county above me, and he was on top of things, and he was really impressive. So he's one of the people that I've always had some respect for. I'm not sure if he's still with WDIV, but he did a good job. And I will say again, they're all coming to me now. For those of you who know Toledo, Bill Spencer, Blizzard Bill, um, I've also appreciated his work as well. He actually has his own page too, so um, but he's no longer with any station. But I have a lot of respect for him too. I see a comment in here, Sonny Elliott. I remember that name. I remember that name.
We have a really good group of meteorologists all across the state here in Michigan for every single
But we
news
do.
channel. Yeah, I
We
mean,
really do.
and we reach out to some of them sometimes too, and they all are, they're all great. Any meteorologist beats a weather app.
Absolutely.
Favorite out of state meteorologist will probably be James Spann because
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
out of state.
I'm with you there.
Yeah, down there in Alabama.
He is the ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing was Facebook took him down for some reason.
Yeah.
He's back though.
Samantha from WZM TV, she's a CMU grad as well.
How strong are lake breezes? On the surface, you really don't really notice much difference. Perhaps like a slight breeze. Um, I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. How strong? But they can affect and influence our weather, though.
Would we ever team up? I'm not sure, Ryan. I think we have a good system going on here. Other storm chasers, other YouTube weather streamers, probably not. Um, again, kind of what we do is unique to Michigan, and I think we'll just stay that way.
Yep.
Again, we have all our Chaser Partner Network guys out there too, so we have a good crew. Travel for Sunday.
Sunday
Actually,
Sunday looks dry.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chuck Gatica was pretty good too from Channel 4. He was a good one. There's a lot of work on each side I could go off.
Yeah. That was my chair.
What is your favorite local or national weather live coverage moment? James Spann, the 12-hour, I think it was like 12-hour block that he stayed on air covering the April 27th, 2011 outbreak of the century down in Dixie Alley. That was probably the ultimate and will always be the ultimate coverage.
Yeah. My cat has made it into the YouTube chat or the StreamYard chat here. That's Hurricane for those who are wondering. I can hear my.
Can you guys hear my chair tonight? You shouldn't be able to.
No dancing, nope. Next time we dance will be 20K on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed on YouTube, there's your encouragement.
Joel and Ryan, was last storm ruled a derecho or no? The chat was full of questions asking about it during it. Not officially.
Not yet, at least. Sometimes it takes a while, but it's not officially a derecho.
Hannah, we do actually do stream for out of state sometimes, but only when the threat's not in Michigan. So
And that's on our other channel.
any other questions, guys? We should just do ASMR. Chair squeaking ASMR. Want to explain weather radios and how they work? Oh, hold on, Joel. There we go. Orange Cat Club over there. So, question was, how do weather radios work? Basically, they receive like a tone, transmitting a tone, I believe, and that sets the tones on the alarm off. So transmitted frequency goes out, weather radio picks it up, then that sets it off. And then you can program it or program anyone you want to specifically how you want, per county, per statement, warning, watch. You can set up the way you want to, but how they're triggered is via warnings that are issued and then transmitted over towers that the radio picks up on.
My gosh, you guys really love my cat. Again, it's a guy named Hurricane, and he's like 14 pounds, long-haired tabby. So he looks really fat compared to what he really is. But
he's fluffy.
What are you feeding that cat to make him that big? Mom, Dad.
Got Chris Tobias in chat. I'm here for the cat, he says.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we'll have 70 plus mile per hour winds tomorrow? Unlikely, Alpha. Unlikely. Nothing like we had a few days ago in Muskegon area, like that. Nothing like that. That is true, Kelly. Most orange cats are on the male side.
They're also crazy. Orange cat TikTok is everywhere.
I just started seeing it like yesterday on my Facebook Reels feed. Any tornadoes tomorrow? Profound. It's unlikely. The SPC does have a 2% risk in East Michigan. So we're not going to say it's a zero threat, but overall, the shear and stuff to get a tornado looks pretty low on the low end of things. So it should not become a big concern. Lynn, I am jealous. I've always wanted a Maine Coon, like a giant cat. I've always wanted one.
You said other states. A family member is coming up from North Carolina tomorrow. How crazy does it look? There is a slight risk actually off to our east too. As you can kind of see it down there in the bottom of the screen in Ohio. So driving through that midday would be a little interesting. It's all hazards there.
Yep. Yeah. So driving from Carolina?
Yeah, North Carolina.
Yeah, so basically in a severe threat the entire way up here, unfortunately. So take it easy.
Yep. Red Dozier with a $5 super chat. A little something for diet kitty treats. I love animals. Thank you, Red Dozier, for the super chat there. We'll make sure to get them some diet kitty treats. Maine Coons can live a while, yeah. This has turned into MSC discusses animals or discusses pets. Any other questions related to weather? Timing tomorrow, again, that's going to be dependent on where you are in the state, of course. So we have morning showers rolling through. Severe could pop up on the back side of that morning showers and storms around 10, well, probably 9 to 12 p.m.-ish, give or take. Those are going to be marginal, and that's probably going to be where the best tornado risk is because that system's going to depart off to the east and affect, Ohio, New York, Pennsylvania. So you could have a little bit, we call them straggler storms that could, fire off severe in the morning, and then it'll clear out, and then we could see some storms fire up in the evening hours, 6 p.m. or later, depending on if you live on the west side or further east. And again, not everyone is going to see a severe storm tomorrow. A little bit of a capping inversion going to keep things a little bit more isolated. £30 orange tabby. My goodness. That's double the size of my cat. Leading threat, yeah, for sure. Damaging winds. How strong will the winds be for Ingham County? Probably 60. That's severe limit. But again, Ingham County may not get severe winds tomorrow, but if they were to, it would be 60. We can't tell you where storms are going to be, but anywhere is in the risk.
This is one of those days where it's going to be like not every storm will be severe and not everybody will see a storm.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody should get rain between now and tomorrow morning. That's a pretty good bet. But as far as severe weather goes, second round is going to be isolated in nature. So at least that's the thinking at this point.
Yeah, and we will have a timing map up later for those who have missed our first 40 minutes. Again, we also have gone over everything so far in terms of slim and everything. So if you want, you can back up the broadcast. We went over all the ingredients and stuff in the first 10 minutes. As for the timing, again, it's going to be in the morning. You have morning showers rolling through between anywhere in the morning to about 1 p.m. in the afternoon, depending if you're further east. Severe, not typically expected with that, but we could see a couple straggler storms, as I've kind of mentioned here, on the backside of that. And you could see in all hazards possible, but again, it's going to be very, very marginal. There might be even like not even one severe storm in that back end. So again, very marginal, very isolated, probably for tomorrow morning into the afternoon, and then it's going to clear out. We'll have a nice, probably afternoon for most, and then we'll look towards about 5 to 6 p.m. in the evening for some storms developing off Lake Michigan to push through and bring the threat for damaging winds, perhaps some hail, but nothing really probably in the mode of tornadoes. Again, everything for wind speed or wind shear tomorrow is called speed shear, and it's just the winds are increasing with height, but not rotating with height. It's going to be kind of like a broken line a little bit along that cold front and that 6 p.m. stuff. So it might be a classic case of, oh, hey, there's a storm to my north, there's a storm to my south, but there's nothing coming right towards me. So now we have 2 feline appearances in one live stream. That's a bonus for you guys tonight.
Yeah, she's a feisty one tonight.
It is not going to happen all day, no. Again, rain in the morning through lunch, clears out, and then you might see some severe storms with damaging winds 6 p.m. and later.
I am covered.
Nice. Reliable weather radio, the Midland WR-120. Probably see a link in chat here if you're watching on YouTube from one of our mods. Yep. It's like $35. Could save your life. So highly recommend.
One thing that is...
Go ahead.
I just want to say one thing that is not on camera that I'm excited about is... Where is it? Where is it? There. Nope. Why it's not showing up? There it is. I gotta center that behind me, but that's gonna be a thing now.
Cats recommended every live stream now. Well, I'm not home all the time, so I can't do that.
I think all of us have cats except Alex. Because Chandler has Oscar notice.
Oh, if you got gifted a membership, it's probably from Big Al, who gifted earlier in the live stream. So shout out to Big Al. I believe that's our Grand Rapids native watching from Phoenix, if I recall correctly from our last live stream. Yes, tornado risk is still possible for Southeast Michigan. I think we could easily say low but not zero for everywhere else, and then 2% for Southeast Michigan. What kind of weather alert is the like and subscribe, since it's where the warnings usually go? What, you mean our bottom banner here? The YouTube banner?
Our warnings
up top. Sorry, up top. That's what you mean. Yeah, usually that gets taken away for our warnings. It's all interchangeable. So like if there's a severe thunderstorm watch, we could switch it to that, but there's not. That's funny though.
Any chances of you guys going live tomorrow for the weather? Yes. If there's severe, we are always live. We have not missed a beat. My cat's coming back for round 2. Or not.
%2 within a 25-mile radius. Sometimes does seem like a lot, yeah. Racing at I-96 2 p.m. Might actually get it in. I'm guessing I-96 Speedway, right down the road from my house here. Time frame for severe again. Perhaps a rogue isolated storm around the 10 or 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. time frame in the morning, but I would say probably don't count on it. Count on more rain than anything, and perhaps like embedded thunderstorms. The main threat right now is looking to be 6 p.m. and later for a broken line of potentially severe storms in the evening. Oh, Berlin. Sorry. You said I-96, and I thought I-96 Speedway. My bad. Caledonia on that map is right below the dot for Grand Rapids, pretty much. Or I guess you could say right below the corner of where the L is in Lansing, if you can see that. Again, we'll probably do a watch party tonight, right, Ryan? Are you gonna be up?
1:30 a.m.
Sweet. So we'll do a watch party for those who are members here. If you're a member on Facebook too, you'll get the link, I believe. Right, Ryan?
Facebook subscribers, yes.
Okay, cool.
And we'll also couple that with an unboxing video for those of you who would like to watch that either live or afterwards. It'll be available.
Yep.
I got about
Wait, you
like
live
7
in...
or 8 to open.
Yeah. I-96 Speedway really crosses at 2 through 11, hitting there at 6. It would probably be looking back at the HRRR model. I would say probably closer to like 8, if anything. Again, it's going to be a broken line most likely, as you saw on HRRR. So you should be good through most of the afternoon at least. I didn't realize there's 2 people talking about racing in here. I'm sorry.
This is for tomorrow, Melissa.
What will you be unboxing? Go ahead, Ryan.
So we have an Amazon wish list that was requested by all of you guys. So we made one, and people are sending us packages. So we'll be opening those tonight. Julie says she can't wait with a devil face. Oh boy, she's been like talking to subscriber chat too about how she's excited for this. So I'm intrigued. I'm interested.
People are asking to see the HRRR map again, Ryan.
Everything. All right, this is overnight tonight. Rain for most all of us here in Michigan. Trailing storms tomorrow morning are the ones to kind of watch, keep an eye on between 9 and 1 or so. And then attention then turns to the west/north, depending where you live in Michigan, where a line of storms will come through. This is at 5 p.m. Here's 6 p.m. Here's 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11, midnight, 1 a.m., and then should be clearing the state by about that 1 to 2 a.m. time frame. The Amazon wish list items, they do get sent to me, yes, but if they're bought for the team, they get distributed to whoever needs it.
Yep.
So I only keep what I need.
So I'll mention about all clear on weather maps for Muskegon until Tuesday. That we're showing you guys the mile runs right here.
Muskegon time frame is going to be roughly right about here, 6 o'clock or so, 7 o'clock and onward, 6 to 8 on this model.
But again, in terms of precipitation, you guys are probably going to see rain overnight tonight.
Yes.
How much does it cost for membership? So it's depending on how much you want to spend. Again, on Facebook, it's all one cost. It's $3, I guess, and it's just for 1 month. So you're paying pennies a day. And on YouTube, it's dependent on how much you're willing to spend. So, the lowest tier is also $3 a month.
There's also Patreon as well. If you can get our basic forecast for as little as 2, which is we're saying 2 and 3, but it's actually $2.99 and $1.99 per month. So.
Whether apps be liars, yes. They're all right for temperature, but again, when it comes to precipitation, you're like, I gotta see other sources. Can we put a weather radar on Amazon wish list? If you guys have like $20 million, yeah, and we'll have to go talk to the people that need to build them, but they're expensive. You can get. I think there's actually Ryan. I think there's actually like cheap ones out there that are like maybe like 5 figures, but again, they're probably like a radius of like 10 miles or something.
What we really should do is set up a mesonet stations all around Michigan with cameras,
That'd be
so
cool.
we can always have like a network of cameras. Hey, here's our camera in X location. There's your storm. We're gonna be tracking here on right. That'd be pretty cool.
Hmm.
And that actually can happen too, but each station's like $3,000 or so. So obviously we don't have that kind of money just to drop for $30,000 for 10 stations. So our forte is storm chasing and weather radar watching.
Yep.
There is no threat for the night. So
Yep. Nope. I was about to answer the same question you were.
are storms actually looking like they're going to be bad, or is it mid? Hannah, there's always a chance. Whenever there's a risk in place, the risk is there for a reason. This one, it depends on where you're at in Michigan. Right now, the highest confidence of storms actually happening are in northwest lower, but those do track further south and east too. So it's going to come down to where the storms are at and where they're going to hit. Because the atmosphere, yes, it is supportive of severe weather, but not everybody will see a storm tomorrow. So you may miss out. And if you miss out, consider yourself lucky.
Unless you really like storms.
Yeah, that's the only exception. And also, models should not be taken as verbatim. They should always be taken as guidance and nothing else.
Right.
So this isn't going to depict exactly where storms are going to happen, but it's usually a pretty good general guideline to kind of see what it's thinking.
Yeah, like coverage and intensity is usually, the best for models, which is kind of what we're seeing here.
A timing map will be provided by Joel here later on this evening.
Hmm.
Probably working on that as soon as he's off here, I'm going to assume.
Yep.
So I see some comments here asking about locations across Michigan. If you are in the lower peninsula of Michigan, you are technically in a severe risk tomorrow. So there's not one place in Michigan that is not in a risk, or not without a risk, should I say. And that risk is mainly for damaging winds, but we cannot rule out a tornado, especially in southeastern Michigan. There is your tornadic map here on your screen now. Places like Ann Arbor, Adrian, Hillsdale, Monroe, Detroit, Port Huron. It's just south of Lapeer, but the southern part of Lapeer County is included with that too. What do you think, Joel?
I think we're about good. I saw there was a comment earlier about space weather. I don't know if you want to go over that really quick, even though it's, it was back. It was up like a ways. I just remembered I saw something about it.
I'm going to assume, looking for it now, but I'm going to assume they're asking about potential aurora tonight. And the short answer is possible, but it's going to be cloud cover, so don't bother. As far as future, we really can't forecast that more than 48 hours in advance accurately. Aurora is far less understood than severe weather is. And we all know how severe weather is not very well understood at all, tornadoes especially. But it's best forecasted because the way it works is stuff fires out the sun. I call it CME. That takes about 2 to 3 days to get here. And that's the only advanced warning we know that's coming. So anything longer than that 3-day period, it's not a forecast. It's just a guess.
Yeah.
With that being said, though, I do believe we're going to wrap it up here. So a little bit of a recap really quickly. The entire lower part of Michigan, as well as Chippewa and Mackinac counties up in the eastern UP, are in a severe risk tomorrow. It is a level 1 out of a scale of 5, so it's the lowest risk we possibly can have. Main risk tomorrow is damaging winds. Entire state, or I keep saying state, entire lower peninsula of Michigan, as well as eastern UP. No hail risk in the area tomorrow. So any hail we do get should be below severe limits. There is a 2% tornadic risk in southeastern Michigan there in green areas. Models indicate tomorrow, overnight tonight, starting to tonight into tomorrow morning is going to be pretty messy. Rain, perhaps some rumbles of thunder. As we get toward that 11 a.m. to noon time frame, we may see a couple storms try to become strong or severe. Don't expect that to happen, but wouldn't be shocked if it does. Main concern to watch happens roughly right around 5 p.m. or so. This model has it right around 5 at this point. It arrives up there in the Gaylord area, not Gaylord, Mackinac areas. Then 6 o'clock, it's pushing on shore. So between 5 and 6, that should be the expectation. Those are the main time frame to watch and main storms to watch for severe weather. Damaging winds should be your only concern with those as they push east southeast. Coverage does look to be limited in this case, so that's good news. If that changes, we'll let you guys know. But again, not everybody will see a storm tomorrow, and not every storm will be severe. All right. Best time frame to get outside and enjoy your afternoon is going to be shortly after that noon time frame. We're going to say 1 to right around 4 or 5. That's going to be your best chance to get outside and enjoy some dry perhaps weather. All right. With that being said, damaging winds is your main concern. Low risk for a tornado in eastern Michigan. Don't really see that across the board much at all. But the SPC does have a risk there just in case. So with that being said, I think we're going to hop out of here. If anything significant changes, I'll go live here tomorrow morning, or perhaps early afternoon to discuss. Probably morning just because it's a little bit earlier on risk than usually we get those risks in the evening hours. We kind of wait until afternoon to get a better feel for it. But probably do one tomorrow morning just to be safe because it is an afternoon threat. So we'll be here covering it live on radar, perhaps chasers in the field as well. I'm not sure we have anybody who's going out, but if we do, they'll be here with us, obviously. With that being said, though, we're going to hop out of here. Members only live stream begins at 1:30 a.m. We'll do an unboxing video, go over the SPC Outlook, any updated models as well. So if you're a member or a subscriber on Facebook, you are welcome to join us at 1:30 a.m. All right. With that being said, we're going to pop out of here. You guys have a wonderful night.
Yep.